Hello, friends, and welcome to Cricket Caviar. I have Gaurav Chakravarti with me today. We are going to discuss about India, England, and a lot of other stuff. But Gaurav, just the news has come in that Virat has been blessed with a baby boy. So, congratulations to him. And I was just asking you whether he'll. You were asking me he'll play for England or India. I'll say he'll probably play for India, but what a moment this is that the Londoners are in Ranchi and he is in London.
Yes, let me first congratulate Anushka and Virat.
Hmm.
This is incredible news for them. They are
Hmm.
kind of old-fashioned families, and one girl and one boy. Uh,
Hmm. Yeah,
so it's
true.
a good thing. It completes their family. It's a fantastic feeling to be
Hmm.
a parent. I know the feeling, so it's an incredible feeling. So once again, congratulations to Anushka and Virat.
And
I hope they're
now,
doing well.
Gaurav, you know what? I had a joke which I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I'm waiting for Virat and Anushka's third child. That will mean that another iconic test series will be played because when Vamika came, we had the Border Gavaskar Trophy, which was one of the most
Yeah.
iconic
We
series
lost the
played.
first test. We lost the
Yeah,
first test, lots of injury,
yeah,
worries, lot of key
yes,
players missing.
yeah,
Rishabh
true.
Pant heroic.
and 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 the story is repeating again now that Akai is born. We are having this brilliant test series. I mean, just what England did
I
in
mean,
Hyderabad,
this is
that just blew the mind, and now this test series is poised so beautifully. I can't even.
beautiful, absolutely. The last fantastic series on Indian soil I remember was 2017 when Australia came here. Australia
Hmm,
won the first test. We won a very close second test at Bangalore. The third
hmm,
was drawn in Ranchi, and the
hmm,
fourth was won at Dharamshala. I think we won. So
yes,
2-1
yes,
series. That was great, cracking series. I thought. After that, I think this is one series which is, living up to its billing, and that this is going to be a cracking series, and it has been
hmm,
so far. It's a fantastic to watch. Every session of this test series has been
yeah.
absolutely fantastic to watch.
And it's a battle of ideologies, it's a battle of completely different kind of skill sets, so many different things are uh,
The
coming
Bazball
in this
versus Jamball, right?
Bazball
Bazball
versus
versus
Jaisball.
Jamball.
I mean, Jaisball is like that. I saw one movie called Salar, where Prabhas is like one man army. So I think Jaisball is like that one man army, just demolishing everything that Bazball is just throwing at him. I mean, Gaurav 600, nearing 600 runs in a three-test series, and having played very few test matches in his career. Uh, how incredible is this? We've seen Dravid, we've seen Kohli hitting those 600 mark in many test series. Of course, Ashes, may we have seen Khwaja, and before that, so many players do it. How incredible is this run from Jaiswal?
He's very young. We all saw the potential in Yashasvi Jaiswal when he played for India under 19. That under
Hmm,
19 World Cup was terrific for him. Though
hmm,
India lost in the final to
hmm,
Bangladesh, but he was incredible throughout the tournament. I don't
hmm,
know whether many people will agree with me or not that when I saw him for the first time during that under 19 World Cup,
hmm,
I saw shades of Sangakkara in him. I
hmm,
find a lot of similarities with Kumar Sangakkara and Yashasvi Jaiswal's batting.
hmm,
Uh, so I don't know. He got
hmm.
Sangakkara as his mentor at
In
Rajasthan Royals
Rajasthan
later on.
Royals. Yeah.
That must have helped. But
Hmm,
what an incredible talent! So far it's so good.
hmm,
Yes, he failed in two test matches in South Africa on those two dodgy wickets.
yeah,
Let's be fair and honest. Those two were really dodgy wickets.
yeah.
You cannot judge a batsman's capability. I think his biggest test going to come end of the year when we will go to Australia for a five test match series. That's going to be one heck of a challenge for him. Let's see
Hmm,
how he copes. Till then, I think so far so good.
hmm.
I mean, as far
Actually,
as playing,
Gaurav, there was also a little bit controversy here that Ben Duckett, after that, after seeing Jaiswal bat, actually took credit himself that the opposition players are playing because we are inspiring them, or what, we'll take some credit for that.
I mean,
Something on that
I mean,
lines.
I mean, I don't know whether you have watched that podcast, Sky Sports podcast with Asas
Yeah,
and Nasser.
Nasir Hussain.
I
Yeah.
mean, they discussed the same thing,
Hmm.
and Nasser Hussain was very practical. He said that, and Atherton too, that
Hmm.
Jaiswal actually got this template from IPL. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
he already knew. I mean, this is his game. It's not
yeah,
that he copied it from Ben Duckett or from
yeah,
Bazball or something like. So
yeah.
this was
And
always
Bazball
the case.
itself was created by Rishabh Pant's innings. Like they got inspired from Rishabh Pant and so many other players' innings. So Virender Sehwag. So you can't
And
say.
let me tell you, I'm a big fan of baseball. I'm a big fan of baseball. No
Huh.
matter what happens in the series, I'm still a big fan of baseball.
Hmm. And Jaiswal
It's only
also
because of
credited
baseball.
Rajasthan Royals.
I
Hmm.
I do believe that it's only because of baseball that they are running India very close in this test series. Without
Yeah, yeah,
baseball, I don't think
absolutely,
they would have
absolutely.
run them so much close,
I
or
mean,
they would have run into Hyderabad.
baseball is such a thing, Gaurav. If it goes wrong, immediately the words are out in the media. Like, one failure and
The Joe dismissal.
Joe Root dismissal. I mean, you can see that guy was averaging 58 with strike rate of 89 before this series in the baseball era. Now, suddenly, the same shot, the reverse scoop that he plays so many times, that has given him a lot of runs actually. But now he's been criticized. People are saying,
The
uh, you
only
know,
thing, only thing I can say here that
hmm,
I mean, playing baseball is fine, but sometimes you need to play the situation as well. I see Ben Stokes. I mean, Ben Stokes is a prime example. He doesn't go bang bang always.
he doesn't play
He plays the
baseball.
situation sometimes. Yeah, he
Hmm,
doesn't play baseball. I mean, but Joe,
hmm,
what happens with Joe Root? That first thing that particular shot, I don't have any issue with playing reverse scoop or something like that.
hmm,
The only problem is that that shot faced him runs where in England or in Australia, where
hmm,
there is a decent bounce on the surface. You
hmm,
can actually get the required elevation with
hmm,
that shot. What
hmm,
happens with the Indian surface is that the pitches are very slow and it's very
hmm,
difficult to get that elevation right. I mean, I
hmm.
haven't seen
Right.
Joe Root. I mean, getting many wrong shots with that option
Yeah.
previously, but those were played in England or in Australia, not in India
Yeah.
or in subcontinent. Subcontinent is the lack of bounce, and it becomes a really
Hmm,
dangerous shot. Otherwise, if you
hmm,
look at the days with Bumrah bowling, Bumrah, I mean, Joe Root has been Bumrah's bunny. I mean, I can say
hmm,
that, I guess.
hmm,
This was the 9 times in Test match cricket. So,
hmm,
kind of a bunny for him.
hmm,
So, I mean, that was a very crucial phase of the game. I think he could have played that spell of Bumrah. I mean, there would
hmm,
have been enough opportunity to go and attack two other bowlers after that.
hmm. And just talking about Jaiswal, Gaurav, so he's hit some 12 sixes and equaled Wasim Akram's record. And he has credited Rajasthan Royals for the six hitting ability, because in under 19 he was not having that kind of power game. But
Yes.
are you surprised like how brave is this guy and hitting sixes like at will, and especially Anderson, he totally destroyed Anderson. uh
And
that
last time I saw Anderson getting decimated like that was George Bailey, I think.
George Billy,
Uh,
yes, yes.
yeah, George Bailey took him apart a lot of years back in Australia.
That was the
But
Mitchell Johnson
I think
series. That
yes,
same series.
That Mitchell Johnson
Mhm.
series. That was in 2000, I think
13.
2013, 14.
Yeah, yeah.
14, yeah. So that was a long time back, 10, 11 years back. And so, I mean, this is incredible. The courage, this generation, I think this generation doesn't have any fear. I mean, they
Mhm.
don't play the bowler, don't play the reputation. They just play the
Mhm.
ball. And that's a great thing for them. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes, sometimes being lesser experience actually helps you a lot. You
Mhm.
don't have
Mhm.
the
Baggage.
baggage of the
Yeah.
past, and you don't have you don't have fear of failure or something like
Mhm.
that. So sometimes being young and fearless is a good thing actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, he just took Jimmy Anderson apart. I mean, incredible. The first shot he played, that was really incredible. Incredible. That sweep, kind of a sweep
Hmm.
shot, because
Yeah.
he expected Anderson to make a bluff and bowl a puller onto the pad, and he
Yeah.
was ready for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, they had this 7-2 field ready for him, with seven
Yeah.
on the offside, two on the leg. So, and Anderson bowled a couple of wide balls actually before that. So he
Hmm.
was ready for that for that sucker ball, the fuller onto
Hmm.
the stumps, and so he was ready for it. It's an
So
incredible shot.
Gaurav, I'll let's take it a little bit behind. So we met after the first test actually, and we were all shocked, and we were all praising Bazball. Now we had the Vizag test, which was down to again Jaiswal and Bumrah's individual brilliance. I think it was day three where England allowed Shubman Gill to score those 100 runs, which were the difference at the end. But coming to third test, now we had anyway lost Kale and Jadeja in Vizag test. We had only Jadeja coming back for this test, and we had two debutants actually, Jurel and Sarfaraz, uh, and Ashwin had to leave after day two when we were getting hammered by Ben Duckett. Absolutely, he was massacring the Indian bowling for that evening 170-run session uh, that was on day two. So, so many negative things, like we were totally backs against the wall and totally on the back foot. Uh, and an inexperienced team has given me this joy. I mean, they won. They not just won. They won by 434 runs, which is their highest test margin.
I mean,
How
the
do you
post World War England's highest defeat
highest
in
defeat?
terms of run.
And they were supposed to have the upper hand post day two. Like everyone was talking them up. They are dominating India, and just what do you make of it, Gaurav? Your overall views on the entire series that's been going on.
See, um, first of all, the toss becomes huge in
Hmm.
subcontinent. If you
Hmm.
look at
Hmm.
the result, England won the toss in Hyderabad. They
Yeah.
won. Not because of the toss they won, but they won in the end. India
Hmm.
did the same in Vizag and as well as here in the third test
Rajkot.
match. So
Yeah.
in Rajkot. So the toss becomes really crucial. And I expect the toss to play vital role
Hmm.
both in Ranchi and in Dharamshala in the coming two test matches as well.
Hmm.
But I mean, toss becomes huge for England more so than India, I guess.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
India, I think, still can and have the resources and the arsenal to make a comeback even after
Hmm.
even if they lose the toss. But for
Hmm.
England, I think that winning the toss is really, really, really
Hmm.
important. I
Hmm.
mean, Jimmy Anderson said during the Vizag test that they would have gone for even 600 target with
Hmm.
this Bazball era. I mean, this is all for talk. I mean, without
Hmm.
any substance. I think
Yeah,
we all know this
that's
disappointing in maybe 300 run is a maximum. Maybe 300, more than 300 chase is a very difficult thing, even on good surfaces. You know,
yeah,
Rajkot, what pleases me as an Indian fan that after a long, long time, we abandoned the dust bowls and played on good batting surfaces. The
absolutely. Kumble
typical
Harbhajan
Indian
era
wicket.
pitches. I call them the
Absolutely.
yeah,
This is the typical Indian tracks, which
yeah.
aids batting for first 3 days, and then the game
And
turns quickly
and
on the
and
fourth
Gaurav,
and
I'll
fifth.
just give you a stat here. Actually, 400 India scored 400 in both innings. And I was just checking when was the last time this happened, and it happened in 2009 versus Sri Lanka in Ahmedabad when Dravid and Dhoni both got 100. Then in the second innings also we scored 400 runs. I think Gambhir got 100
I mean
too.
that match, that Prasanna Javardhane wala match, no?
Yeah, that match. So you see, 15 years has passed, and we finally got a match where India itself could score 400 on in both innings. So it just speaks how good are the pitches. I mean, this series. Yeah.
The only complaint is, I think, in both the test matches, I think
Hmm.
both at Vizag as well as in Rajkot, I think India, I think, fell short of the ideal target. I mean,
Hmm.
in those sort of pitches, I think in Vizag as well as here, they
mm,
should have scored 500. I mean, they could have put the game in onto the bed. I mean, if
yeah,
they had scored
yeah,
550 runs in the first innings, I mean, I'm
mm,
pretty sure with the batting lineup of Sehwag and Dravid, Tendulkar, Lakshman,
yes,
Ganguly, and those
yes,
batting attack we had in the past, they would have
yeah,
scored 600 on those surfaces, and then
agreed.
the game would have finished right there. But
Yeah,
surprisingly, we are 33 for 3 on that kind of a service. That was a bit of a shock.
yeah.
That was a bit of a shock. I mean, I didn't expect that. And
And
also, the drop catch of Rohit Sharma when Joe Root dropped him, I think would have been 49 for 4.
49 4. And we have had these hiccups throughout, even in the first test. Obviously, first test we lost. In the second test also, in the first innings, in the second innings especially, we suddenly got bowled out for 255 there. And then this test, I think we have to talk about the debutants, Gaurav, because we gifted some wickets, and one of the wickets gifted was Sarfaraz, because I think we could have scored 600 on this pitch. I still believe if
If
Sarfaraz,
had surprised been there, they would have scored 100 or big 100. Who knows? I mean, he was
yeah,
batting beautifully. And the
yeah,
old fashioned batting against spin. I mean,
yeah,
Sarfaraz reminded me of those days we had the Sidhus and Azhars,
yeah,
how they used to play spin bowling, how they used to torment spinners all over the world. I mean,
yeah,
they massacred spin bowling. I mean, how
mm,
they played spin bowling in the 90s and the Sidhus and Azhars.
mm,
So he
mm,
kind of reminded me the way he was batting. And
mm,
the best part of his not that hitting, the way
mm.
he was going onto the back foot and maneuvering and getting those
Yeah.
singles and
And he
doubles.
was trying to get
That
a run
was
every ball. I mean, even the run out, unfortunately, I mean, Jadeja got massacred on social media because, he was termed selfish and everything because he was on
I mean, that
99
is rubbish. I mean, Jadeja has this issue with running between the wicket,
running.
and
Yeah.
I was looking at the stats, and
Mm,
stats shows that with Jadeja, there's been 9 runouts, and
mm.
only once Jadeja been dismissed, and that was the Hyderabad Test match. Otherwise, 8 times his partner been dismissed.
In
So
this series, there have been two, Ashwin, and this is the second, I think. Sarfaraz is the
again,
second.
yes,
I
yes,
mean, just see the emotions. I mean, the guy is making his debut after performing like averaging 80 plus in Ranji Trophy for 3 4 years, and he's totally into his groove. He's in cruise mode. He's just sailing, and he gets run out on with Jadeja
yeah.
being on 99. That was such
But
a
someone
sorry.
actually, I saw some posts on social media.
Mm,
And so one of the guy actually said that it's good thing that Sarfaraz didn't get a 100 on his debut. But because not
mm,
too many Indians who got their hundreds on test debut went on to have a very
mm,
big career. I mean, quite
yeah,
a few of them had a very good career, like
yeah,
Ganguly did, Azharuddin did, Gundappa Vishwanath did,
yeah,
Sehwag did.
yeah,
Dhawan was decent. Not a very
yeah.
good test match career, but I mean, he was decent. So,
And already
and
Shreyas
Shreyas
Iyer
Iyer
career is now slowly going.
already over. I mean, you can say that his Test career is over. I mean, selectors are looking beyond him for Test
Yeah,
match. I think we have quite a few options, don't
yeah,
we? In
yeah,
terms
yeah.
of middle order batting, I think.
But how happy are you that finally Sarfaraz got the debut? I want to know your emotions on.
He was deserving. I mean,
Mm,
I was actually, to be honest, I was little surprised that Rajat Patidar got the nod ahead of
mm,
Sarfaraz. If
mm,
we look at the domestic record, what did Patidar did as a
mm.
batsman for Madhya
It's
Pradesh? And
he's having 40
he's only
45
because he
average. Mm.
recency effect that he got 100 against England Lions that he
England Lions.
got a
Yeah.
nod ahead of Sarfraz. But
Mm,
we had a fair look at both of them. I think Sarfraz is a better
mm,
batsman. No, on
mm.
Indian conditions, he's a better
Yeah,
batsman. Better
yeah,
tail against spin. The
yeah,
shades like there's a shade of Javed Miadad in Sarfraz batting. The way he
yeah,
tackles spin, a
yeah, yeah.
bit of Javed Miadad in him.
And it
So I
was
mean, these are the old
totally,
fashioned 80s and 90s players in against spin.
and especially with his father being a first class cricketer and coaching both of his boys to one into under 19
Yeah,
World
Mushid
Cup.
is a very talented guy. His brother Mushid, I mean, I
Mushi.
expect Mushid to play for India someday because
Mm.
he's a terrific cricketer. He
He's an
bowls left
all-rounder.
arm spin. Yeah,
Yeah,
left arm spin is a very decent batsman. He got a
Yeah.
couple of hundreds in the under 19.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And
So I
and
expect Bushi to play for India someday.
And Gaurav, I want to talk about one more important thing. I think there were two turning points in the game. I'll ask you together only about these points. So one was when India suddenly second morning they are 331 for 7. We had a partnership between Jurel and Ashwin. Jurel being on debut again, finally we get rid of KS Bharat, and that's also what I'm going to ask you. And Jurel actually beats KS Bharat's highest score of 44 in the first try itself. And he not just beats him, he has a good balance of attack and defense. He forges a partnership which I thought was very critical at that moment, because the way England collapsed from 319 to 299 to 319, it was entirely the opposite. It could have been the same story, but it turned out to be the opposite story, because the tail wagged for India and we went to 445. That's one I want to ask you about Case Bharat and Jurel. That's my first question. And the second one was, after we were getting totally massacred by Ben Duckett and Ashwin leaving the same day, so Kuldeep took the responsibility to be the main guy, and how he tricked Ben Duckett into playing a fall shot, bowling those T20 lines. So yeah, first Bharat and Jurel, and then Kuldeep. I just want to know your takes on this.
And Jurel deserved his chance. Actually, Bharat has been really disappointing. I mean, we have seen him with that guy for over 10 Test matches, I guess. So,
Hmm.
I mean, not that his batting is bad. His keeping hasn't been that top notch as well. So
Hmm.
I don't think the keeping aspect. Jurel is also very young. I mean, there's a lot of scope for improvement as a keeper, definitely.
Hmm.
But I think if I had to invest on someone, I'd rather invest on someone like Jurel than Kona Bharat. I think
Hmm.
Kona Bharat has got a fair share of chances. I think he's squandered his chances. It's
Hmm.
not that Kona Bharat is a Riddhiman Saha. I mean, with his
Hmm.
keeping glove. Riddhiman
Hmm.
Saha was,
Yeah.
I think, for me, I think in the last 10, 15 years, I think he's been India's best
Best
wicket
keeper.
keeper.
Yeah.
Best keeper, not only 10, 15 years. I think if you look at the Indian cricket history, he must be one of the
15
best, very
years.
best.
Around 15 years, I think. Yeah. Hmm.
Even when you look at the Indian cricket history, I think he will be one of the
Will be
very
one of the
best. I mean,
best.
with Ted Kirmani and
Yeah.
people like him. So, I mean, it's not that Bharat is Riddhiman Saha in
Hmm.
terms of keeping. The keeping so that's why I think the batting becomes very crucial. The low order runs becomes really crucial. I think which Kona Bharat didn't do.
Hmm.
The I think Jurel also kept really well. Also, I mean, not that bad. He's been not that good also, but he was decent, especially with the Duckett run out. He was very good. So Jurel batted really well. He actually he the way he batted, he actually gave the Indian cricket followers a bit of confidence. I think whenever
Hmm.
Kuna Bharat batted, I think we didn't have any confidence that he's going to score
Yeah.
runs. But the way
Yeah.
the calmness and the defense showed by Jurel were very good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Second thing is the Kuldeep thing. I think Kuldeep
Hmm.
actually he was pretty poor on the second day evening in the last
Yeah.
session. But the
Yeah.
way he made his comeback on the third day morning when we uh,
Hmm.
we, we lost Ashwin,
Hmm.
he took the leading role as a lead spinner, and the
Hmm.
way he bowled, that was a magnificent bit of bowling from him on the third day morning.
And that
So
ball to Bairstow that turned 8.3 degrees. That was an amazing.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that was an amazing ball, and Besto had no clue. I mean, any way,
And he was
Besto is
playing
not
on
a
the
very
back
good
foot
player.
also. I think he was totally
Yeah,
clueless. Hmm.
I mean, Besto, most of the times he's very clueless against good quality spin. But I mean,
Hmm.
having said that, Kuldeep actually took the responsibility. That's one aspect which was missing from Kuldeep in the past, the taking the leading role.
Hmm.
We always knew this guy is very talented. The problem was that he always needed support, the beat from the behind the wicket from Mahendra Singh Dhoni or
Hmm.
somewhere else. I mean, Kuldeep always needed support, be it mentally or
Hmm.
technically or something. I mean, as a partner, I mean, senior spinner on
Hmm.
the other
Hmm.
end. So
mm,
that was really refreshing to see that he took the leading role, because he
mm,
has played enough cricket to take a leading role now. I mean,
mm.
he's quite experienced now, Kuldeep. It's been a
Yeah.
long time he made his debut and played a lot of cricket under him.
Mm,
So that's one aspect which is very good. The only thing I think I am still disappointed with the way I think Indian spinners have played, especially Ravichandran Ashwin in this series. Somehow he
mm.
didn't look the old Ashwin. I mean,
Yeah.
has he
Yeah.
lost the art of getting wickets on good surfaces after bowling on minefields over the
Yeah.
last 5 6 years? I mean,
That's that seems so.
maybe.
Yeah. And Gaurav, I just want to ask you one more debate that we were also having in the group. And last test in Vizag, actually Siraj was rested, and Mukesh Kumar was picked, and he was just bashed around, Mukesh Kumar in Vizag. And
Mm.
we were all thinking that they should have played one pacer because Bumrah alone did the entire damage, and they could have played Washington Sundar, or someone else could have been played. Now they again, Siraj comes back and shows great impact by cleaning the tail up. Uh, what do you think? Like, I didn't get your opinion on Mukesh Kumar playing in Vizag,
Yeah,
and
Mukesh has been very bad. Mukesh was really bad in Vizag.
hmm,
Let's
hmm,
be honest on that. The
hmm,
problem is that why
hmm,
you need the second steamer? Because on
hmm,
some such good surfaces, on such
hmm,
placid tracks,
hmm,
there's another hope of getting wickets is reverse swing. So
hmm,
if you
hmm,
have only one fast bowler operating, the chances of of taking up that reverse swing effect is
hmm,
very less. You have only 4 over 5 over spell from Siraj, and that is done. You don't have
hmm,
any backup, or
hmm.
or say Bumrah. You don't have any
Yeah,
backup.
yeah,
Here in Rajkot, we had couple of them. We knew
yeah.
one end we can operate with spin, another end we can go full throttle with the
Hmm,
reverse swing going on.
hmm,
With first with Bumrah, say go with 5 overs of Bumrah. Then
hmm,
we can go with 5 overs of
hmm.
Siraj. Then if we need, we can again go back to Bumrah for 2 3 overs spell. So that's why I think second seamer becomes really important on Indian conditions on flat surfaces. I
Hmm.
don't know how much the Ranchi's track will suit that, because Ranchi traditionally been very low, slow kind of a track.
Yeah.
It is spin. I mean, if it is too much in favor of spin, I'd rather go with Washington Sundar, have the
Hmm,
batting backing lineup backing also, as well
hmm,
as I mean bowling front as well.
hmm.
Um, uh, Otherwise, if it is like Rajkot, I think we need to go with the second seaming
But
option, and there's no one else than Mukesh Kumar.
But before I think Washington, Aksar will be the one. What's your take on Aksar Patel throughout
Uh,
the series? He's been
Akshar
hammered
has been very
also.
poor. Akshar
Yeah.
has been very poor. I mean, the
Mm,
problem I have with playing with Akshar and both Akshar and Jadeja is that both are similar kind of bowlers. I'd rather
mm,
have Washington, because Washington brings a different variety of off spin. It's a bit
mm, mm,
flatter through the air. It's kind of different than Ashwin also, as well. So
yeah.
different kind of off spinner. So he gets
Mm,
those bounce as well, with
mm,
his trajectory being really, when he's being very tall, and his trajectory being different to Ashwin as well. So he gets a bounce as well. So I think if we need to look at the conditions in Ranchi and decide, and
mm,
Dharamshala, I think we will go with two seamers. Not that
mm,
Dharamshala going favored fast bowling,
mm,
because we
mm,
have seen during the World Cup that there wasn't much for the fast bowlers as well. It
mm.
was good batting decks, and
Yeah.
mostly also aided spin as well in Dharamshala.
Yes.
It turned as
Yes. It turned.
so
I remember
it
that
turned as well.
Netherlands spinner who took a lot of wickets versus
A
South
roll of
Africa.
that Vanderbilt way.
Roll of
Yeah.
Van der Merwe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with the perception with the people around here is with Dharamshala is
Yeah.
going to favor fast bowling, but
Yeah.
not that. I mean, of late Dharamshala has been very good batting surface. I mean, the New
Mm,
Zealand Australia game, who can forget that in the World Cup? This is almost 400 runs being chased
yeah.
there. I mean, so it's a small ground. I think it ate spin.
Mm,
At least during the World Cup, it did not,
mm,
and a lot of them played there. Bolt,
mm,
Henry, and all those people played. They're not
mm.
didn't get much from the track as well.
Swing at
So,
all. Yeah.
and I don't expect India to leave grass there. in
Yeah,
Dharamshala. I don't
yeah,
expect that
absolutely.
in last Test match.
Okay, so Gaurav, will before closing the discussion, I'll just ask you about Rohit Sharma. Now, this guy was under a lot of pump after that loss in Hyderabad, and of course, a lot of Virat Kohli, and there has been a fan war going throughout last 5 6 years with Rohit versus Virat kind of fan war, which is very common in India now because social media has come, so it's just inflating to another level. Now, a lot of people were asking how he allowed Ben Ollie Pope to score those 196 runs. Virat would have never done that, and after that, Rohit has come back. He has hit his 11th hundred, and all 11 test hundreds have come in wins. And of course, from 33 for 3, from getting dropped, the way he hammered spin, how important has been as captain and batsman for India.
I know the first thing I come to the point that Virat wouldn't have allowed. We remember a Test match in Sri Lanka where I think Dinesh Chandimal and
Yeah.
hammered us.
Yes.
In similar kind of a situation, I think we got a 190 odd lead in the first innings, and Dinesh Chandimal hammered us, and Rangana Herath went through the
Mm,
to the Indian batting lineup in the fourth innings.
mm,
Similar kind of a script. I mean, the Chandimal played sweeps and reverse sweeps throughout the innings.
mm,
These things once in a while do happen. I mean,
mm,
I think we all agree that India made some mistakes in that test match.
mm,
I think sometimes he waited too much. I mean, to things to happen rather
mm,
than being proactive. That's the problem with Rohit Sharma's test captaincy. Let's be honest.
mm,
He's been very good white ball captain, but
mm,
in terms of Test cricket, I think he still is kind of a reactive captain. What do we say?
mm,
He waits for the things to happen. Actually, Virat has been very good. Virat was actually very good red ball captain,
yeah.
but his methods were different. You know, Virat as
Mm,
a captain, his methods were different. Rohit is kind of a laid back person, so his methods are different.
yeah.
So, I mean, this social media was, we don't need to put much attention to that. I mean,
Yeah.
social
Yeah.
media is a very dangerous thing. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
good thing, but as well as it's pretty dangerous
Yeah.
sometimes. So, so don't need to give
Yeah.
very much importance to that. I think fan wars and all that.
Yeah. But great knock by Rohit. I mean, hammering that
Yeah,
spin.
definitely.
And
33 for 3 would have expected that. I mean, the
yeah.
only worry for me, I think, with Rohit Sharma as a batsman these days is
Mm,
how fit he is to play big innings. I mean,
mm,
in one day cricket, we all can loud those selfless
mm,
60s and 70s or 40, 50 balls and giving
yeah.
the platform. What he did in the World Cup was
Yeah.
terrific, actually.
Yeah.
He was excellent throughout the World Cup.
Mm,
But
mm,
the problem in red ball cricket, you can't do that. In red ball cricket, you
yeah.
need to play long innings. So
Yeah.
how fit is he? How fit he is mentally to play long innings? I think he needs to tell himself in Test cricket he
Mm,
needs to bat long. Whenever
mm,
Rohit Sharma gets 130 or 40
mm,
runs, it helps India winning Test matches.
yeah. Yeah. One last question, Gaurav. So now we are going to Ranchi. So there is an argument, I think, from my side only. Why to change anything at all? Like, of course, we know KL Rahul is coming back, but yeah, of course, Patidar has not. He's got his two chances. Not, he was half-hearted dismissal king in both those, chances. But
I know you have issues with KL Rahul, but the
yeah,
thing is that I think he deserves his place back. I guess he was pretty good in the
first
Hyderabad
is.
test in the first innings as well. Mean both the innings actually he got out to very soft dismissal, I'd rather say. I mean he was pretty casual about both the dismissal
Mm,
that he needs to rectify. He scored a wonderful 100 in South Africa. That was
yeah,
one of the best overseas hundreds I have ever seen. That
yeah,
guy is a very talented bloke. There is no mistake about that.
mm,
Don't bring him in the T20 side. That's my
yeah,
point. Don't play him in the T20. But in one day cricket or in test cricket, he can test cricket in middle order, he can be an asset. Because
okay,
Indian cricket is going through a transition phase without say Pujaras and Rahanes being out and
yeah,
with all these just coming. I think He
I
can
mean,
serve. He can serve well as a middle order batsman, not the opening slot. That is where I think I
actually,
have
Gaurav,
issues with
I
KL
used to love him as a test opener. I really fell in love with him as a test opener. But somehow ODI middle order thing that he does, I don't like that part, because now
And
ODI game has changed.
till Rishabh Pant comes back into
Yeah.
the side, I think he can be your wicket keeper in overseas conditions.
Hmm.
I
But is
think
it fair,
Rishabh Pant
Gaurav?
should
Like
be.
you have put certain conditions on Ishan Kishan that you have to play Ranji Trophy, and but KL is allowed a kind of keeper role directly without keeping in Ranji Trophy, or without ever keeping in.
I think Ishan Kishan's situation is different. I guess. I mean, we shouldn't mix these two things. I think the management thought that the best thing they can get out of KL Rahul is by keeping him in South Africa, and he did a very good job as a keeper in South Africa. I think we could play an extra batsman there.
Hmm.
In that slot, because in modern cricket, I think keeper's role becomes really crucial with the bat as well. Keeper
Hmm.
needs to contribute with the bat as well. So he becomes very crucial. Rishabh Pant going to. I am pretty sure that Rishabh Pant going to come back during the Border Gavaskar Trophy later this year. I think he should be fit by then. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a long time away. I think 10 months away. I mean, it
Hmm.
should be good enough. He's going to play IPL as a pure
IPL
batter. I've
as a
seen
pure batter
as
and
a
captain.
pure batter, and I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be ready once the later half of Indian cricket season going to take
Yeah.
place
Start.
against New Zealand and Bangladesh. I think he should be
Yeah.
ready for that. I think once Rishabh Pant comes back, there is a lot of things actually fall into places. I think then KL Rahul can play as a pure batsman. You can have some swap. You don't know how Sarfaraz or Jaiswal, these guys going to perform abroad as well. So
Hmm.
we have to see a lot of things. So let's see. I mean,
What's your advice to
long
England,
run.
Gaurav, to win this series 3-2?
Play
What do they
baseball,
need to?
but play baseball sensibly, not
Hmm.
like they did in the third day morning when
Hmm.
I mean they to the kitchen sink and all that, because
Hmm.
India was at their mercy with 10
Hmm.
men. India were absolutely down and out. One good session there, England
Hmm.
would have bossed the game. But
Hmm.
a credit to India as well. I mean, they
Yeah.
they didn't flinch.
Yeah. Thanks, Gaurav. That's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure again talking to you. And hopefully, we'll meet after some time talking more good things about Indian cricket. Absolutely brilliant comeback by India. And they lead the series 2-1. Thanks, Gaurav. Thank you for
Hope
your
they win
time.
4-1. Hope they win 4-1.
4-1. 4-1. And